Welcome to another edition of Break the Code. My name is Naya, and I'm your host. Today we are breaking the code with my girl, Shiri Achu. I am so excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you for
making the
having
time
me.
to
Thank
be
you.
here. Shiri Achu is an award-winning artist from Cameroon, proudly
Yep.
Cameroonian. As you can see, this girl does not go anywhere without a signature. I mean, can we talk about you, girl? When you walk in the rooms, you bring art. You
Mm.
are art itself.
Mm.
And she's like, that is my intention. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
grateful for the pleasure of having met you and
Oh.
we've tried to do some work together
Mm-hmm.
over the years. But you've been inspiration to my daughter,
Mm.
who also paints.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's
Awesome.
had the pleasure of spending some time with you.
Yes. Yes.
And from that time she spent with you, she's never stopped painting.
Oh,
So,
that's
yeah, you're
wonderful.
inspiring the next
Oh,
generation of
yay.
artists. And I'm so grateful for the things I've learned
Yep.
just by observing you. So
Oh,
why don't you
wow.
just tell our
Oh, thank
audience,
you.
yes,
What a-
a little bit about
About about
yourself, and then we'll go into some more because I could just keep talking to you
talking.
for 3 hours.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, so I started painting. So first of all, I feel so honored to be able to do that because ultimately it's a blessing to be able to to inspire the next generation
Absolutely.
because when more people wear togo, when more people have their hair in afro, when more people do things which because I love culture, I love being Cameroonian, I love expressing it in my own way, and when I see more people doing it, it's like wow, because they say that they've they aspired through my work and how much I love my culture, and they themselves are beginning to love that it to me it's yeah.
It makes it all worth it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So to begin, like I started painting when I was very little. I had amazing parents. My mother encouraged it, and she actually got tutors. Who she would, I had tutors who would teach me perspectives, like the real intricacies of painting. My mother is somewhat forward thinking because that generation, she would have just said, just focus and do architecture, focus and be a doctor, focus. But she let me nurture my craft. Painting was not something that I'd seen anyone do. It was something that I just knew. Like I saw one painting. I remember seeing one painting. I can't remember where it was. I think it was in Cameroon. And there was a girl and she had tears in her eyes and I still can't understand why I remembered that one particular painting. Like this girl, she looked beautiful, young girl, like 9, 10, and she had tear in her eye. I don't know whether that was a catalyst for something, but
Right.
I always remember that painting. I always remember that I must paint. So when I went to London, you
Wait,
know,
so let's backtrack a bit. So this formative years we're talking about, was this in Cameroon? Are we
I
talking
think I
about time
saw
in
that painting
Cameroon?
in Cameroon just before I left Cameroon, just
When
before my parents took us from Cameroon to London.
when did you move to
I was
London?
9.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
And
I had.
your whole family immigrated to
Yes,
London. Okay.
yes, yes, yes. So when I went, I knew that there was something that I had to do, painting, and I didn't know any painters. I hadn't seen any other painting apart from the one that I told you about. Um, but yeah, so again, some kind of divine intervention. My brother tells me that I found the tools in the back of the house. Like literally, there was paint, there was brush, there was all the things that I needed to start painting
In London.
in the house that I was in. I don't understand how those things were just laying there, but that's what my brother says because I asked, how did I first have my first tools? My brother said, oh no, you found it in the back of the house, da 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 da. I'm like, huh? You know? It was really odd. But yeah, so I had the tools, and my mother, of course, supplied more that I needed. I started painting. I started with just painting like flower vases and flowers and, generic things because, you have to hone the skill, like learn how to understand shadows and lights and things like that. So, and yeah, and I had my first painting, my first exhibition. I sold a piece when I was 18,
Wow.
just when I was about to go to university. I again wanted to do architecture. As much as I love being an artist and painting, I also wanted to do architecture. So I went to university at Cardiff, and I did the whole 7 years. But during the time, I was also painting, for example. You will have projects to design something, and I'll design, but I'll end up painting the final piece rather than just drawing it and just keeping it as a CAD drawing. I would actually paint. So I broadened my art, my paintings wherever I could, but ultimately, I did the 7 years, and then when I came out, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm going to pursue my art a little bit more now.
Really?
Yes.
So when I think of architecture, I think of it as an art form as well. Um, but it was just not enough art for you.
It wasn't enough art for me.
Yeah, I get
No.
it.
And the juxtaposition of having the straight lines and this really defined and this, structuredness with being able to do this and this and this, I love being able to do that flip.
Fluid.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
and
love
I mean, you embody that.
yes.
Even the way you walk. It's very, it's an art. Honestly, I watched you,
Oh
was it
really?
when did I see you? I observed you from across the room. I didn't get to speak to you. I told you. I think that was Saturday.
Okay.
And you walked into the room and literally you float
Oh
into
really?
the and it's like an art form
Oh
when you're
wow.
walking. You just have,
Wow.
and then there's this grace that
Mm,
follows, and I really see that in your
mm.
artwork.
Oh wow.
Yes,
That's great.
yes, absolutely.
That's awesome that my personality or some my flows, filters through into my work, which is
Yes,
great.
yes. I
Yes.
love that you're so intentional about culture,
Yes.
right? So you're a proud Cameroonian woman. Tell us about your cultural background. Just
So I am from Bafuchu. Well, my father is Bafuchu. My
okay,
mother is Awing. So
okay.
I'm a Bamenda woman.
Bamenda girl.
Yes.
And you,
Yes.
it's like if you don't wear something that has
Oh, I
something like
must. I
this,
must. It's
she
not
gets a
me.
bit nervous.
It's
She's
not me.
like when we're trying to take this off, she's just like, don't you think I need it? Like someone, okay,
I need it.
I need
I
to
need
have
it.
this on.
Even though I have
Yes,
this one, I have this one, I'm having
yes,
this one. Yes, I love it. I don't know. Somehow people always ask me though, how did you, like, why do you love culture? Why do you, like, you left when you were 9? You know, I literally left Cameroon when I was 9 years old.
right.
So, they say, but why? Why do you keep, like, why are you so obsessed about culture? I think God just made me this way. God
Yeah.
just made me love being who I am. And actually, I love it when others love who they are. Like if you're Indian, I love it when I see an Indian person dressed in their most cultural attire. I just think people should embrace who they are in the most authentic, in the most, okay, so go back to authenticity.
Hmm.
Even though I love being Cameroonian and proudly Bamenda so, I also embrace the fact that I grew up in England. There's
Yes.
always going to be a different touch. There's always going to be a suit, something else that's going to show that, okay, I'm not just, or the way that my things are tailored. It's not that the most Cameroonian style. It's got a twist because
It's you
my authenticity is also that I grew up in the U
in London.
in London.
Yeah.
So I take from that culture, I take from my background, and I merge the two. So I love it when people are authentic to themselves. So if an Indian person, or if you are loving who you are. I love it when people just embrace who they are.
I love that. I love that. I also have a beauty brand, and
Yeah.
the tagline is "Be at peace with who you are."
Yes,
Right? That's
exactly.
Zolani Beauty,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
I I have a very similar story. I
Mm-hmm.
was born in the US
Mm-hmm.
and then went back to Cameroon and then moved back to the US.
Right.
And trying to navigate both cultures and actually observing a lot of other young people navigating both cultures
Right.
is can be a struggle for some, and for some it's something that they embrace and really embody.
Right.
What do you say to the person who is kind of struggling, you know? Um, for example, I've spoken to someone and their kid is being bullied because they
Mm,
have an accent, and all the things that really make you authentically
mm,
you
mm,
can be challenged
mm,
sometimes. How
mm.
do you help someone really just embrace all the aspects of who they are?
So I was bullied. Remember, I was 9 when I was uprooted from Cameroon with my very thick African accent. My mother would dress me up. You know, and again, you listen to your parents. You wear socks up to here. You do all this. You know, they dress you the way that they see fit. And I was bullied. Um, but again, it didn't faze me. It's strange because despite the fact that they bullied me, I wasn't fazed by it because I loved being unique. I loved the fact that I was different. I love the fact that, I when I think back, I wasn't ever like upset by it. I was like, I felt sorry for them because, this is just, I am a person dressed like this way. Why would you bully the fact that I'm wearing socks up to my knees? I mean, why? I didn't quite understand the sense of, I'm just different. So it's okay.
Yeah.
So, people like, to answer your question, um, I think when you're able to and just love who you are, like you cannot change who you are.
Right.
Like, a 10-year-old cannot change the person who's the parents that they came from. They cannot change where they were born. They cannot change their whatever background that they came into. So you have to be able to embrace it, otherwise, and then start, working on it. Because when you start comparing yourself with this person and doing this, then you're going to start losing yourself. So it's basically just being, embracing and just being happy with the fact that, because you cannot change it.
Hmm.
So
So embracing who you
embrace.
are, but
Yeah.
I think it also takes a bit of honing that, right? I feel
Right.
like over the years
Mm-hmm.
you've kind of crafted this whole persona like an art,
Mm-hmm.
into now this beautiful expression of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm just thinking as we're talking, but I think it's a journey, right? Like for some people, not everyone comes with this level of like, I am who I am. You
That
know?
is true. That
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah.
That is
It's
true.
I think
Yeah.
along the way
Yeah.
some people have to
Yeah.
kind of recognize that this is a part of me and it's beautiful,
Yeah.
regardless of what people say,
Yeah.
because outside influences can be really strong.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is very true. Yep.
I think especially you're a mom.
Yep.
Tell us about your kids. How many kids?
I have a boy and a girl. And yes, my son is going through that struggle, and I keep thinking, oh my goodness, really? Because I don't know what the system is in the States, but there must be some serious bullying going on because, he's shying away from wearing like togo. I'm like, are you my son? But the bullying must be on a different level. And of course, maybe I do it too much where, when you see your mother doing something, you want to
Right.
you want to do the complete opposite, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
perhaps
yes.
it's that too.
Like, I get that. Like, you think kids, and they're like, imagine you're the mom coming with this
Yep,
all the time, and you're just
exactly.
like, Mom,
Exactly.
can you
You
just
yeah. Yeah.
wear the hat?
Yes, yes. Exactly. Exactly. No, they always say I look that they always compliment how I look, but they I think at some point, they don't want to they think as you were probably when you were younger, you think your parents
Like, come
they're
on,
not doing the coolest
you're
things.
doing the most.
They're not dressing the coolest way. They're not doing the coolest things. So you
Yes,
don't want to emulate that in any way. So
right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's something we just have to understand as parents,
Mm,
that our kids go through their own seasons,
yeah.
and we have to just walk alongside of them
Yes.
and continue to,
Yes.
encourage them
Yes.
and love on them until they
Yes.
get to that place where they can
Yes.
be fully expressive of who they are.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Sahara, she's cool. She helps me choose what I'm. My daughter,
Your daughter.
she helps me
Okay.
choose certain things. Like, mommy, no, not that one. Wear this one.
Yeah,
It's cool.
I like that. So your parents, your mom especially encouraged you with
Yes.
art.
Yep.
What about your dad?
My dad was cool. Very there. Very there. If I needed the book, specific book, he's always the one to say, here, take, go buy. Go do what you.
Oh,
He
really?
paid for something. Yeah, he was the one who provided
Yeah.
the means for me to do what I needed to do. Yeah.
Actually, your family, well, I don't know all your siblings, but you have another very creative sister that I'm aware of,
Mm-hmm.
one who's also an artist, but
Mm-hmm. Naomi.
musical
Yes.
artist,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
How
Naomi.
was she encouraged? I'm just trying to understand the
Um,
background.
she just
Did she
knew.
sing
Again, she
always?
yes.
Okay,
Again, she knew that she had to sing.
okay.
Yeah. Again, she knew that the singing was just her everything. So,
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what about your kids? What do you see in them now as a mom that you're nurturing and you want to encourage? You see it or you
I see dancing. My daughter loves dancing, and I encourage it as much as I can.
yes.
But I wish it was something that she could do on her own. I was left to just go and sit in the corner, and I could just go to my corner and paint. With dancing, you have to take them to classes upon classes. You know what I mean? With my thing, I was left to do my thing on my own. Nobody had to take me anywhere. Nobody had to, you know.
Yeah.
But with today's activities and life, you know, tr-
Yeah.
it can be difficult trying to nurture and trying to really get, because. When you're dancing, you have to do the training, you have to do the performances, you have to do this, you have to go to tryouts, you have to do this, you have to do this. It's a lot for parents. It's not something that it can. It's so I personally I wish it was something that was more singular, but it's her love. So I nurture it as much as I can. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
How old is she?
10,
Okay, and your son?
13.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about him?
He was amazing at drawing. He was, but now he says that he's not. Now I don't know whether he's comparing himself to me, but now he doesn't have any interest, and he doesn't think that he's that good. But he was. In fact, he has his painting. He had an exhibition with his painting. His work was chosen from school and was exhibited,
Wow.
like at the age of 8 or 9.
Okay.
So he was excellent. But again, maybe it's yeah. If you compare, as a young child, you compare your work with someone who has been working painting for a long time, you would think that perhaps you're not as good as. Yeah, I think that's the thing. But I believe that if it's really your thing, like nobody had to push me,
He'll pick it up
he'll
again.
pick it up again. Nobody had to push me to paint. Nobody had to push me to do. So I think they will find themselves. They'll find the things that really interest them, and but they are doing good at school, so it's good.
They'll find their way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I'm a creative, I understand. To allow for creativity. It doesn't have to be. Some people find their thing quicker. I
Right.
found my thing quicker
Right.
than most. Luckily for me, others take their time, and they are creative, but they're also very good academically as well. So it's just they're finding a way. They're finding a way.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I like that, as a parent, a lot, when we're thinking break the code, we're thinking what were the influences that shaped our persona, our personality, the
Mm,
things we do,
mm,
how we show up in the world. And for a lot of people, that programming
mm-hmm,
helps them become who they are. For
mm-hmm.
some people, the programming limits them, right?
Right, right.
And then they have to go against that and to
Mm,
find this, to go through this huge process of rediscovery of their more authentic self,
mm,
right?
mm,
I'm saying that to say the approach that I hear you taking with your kids is like, okay, he painted at some point. He was good at it.
mm-hmm,
He's not painting right now,
mm-hmm,
so he's not the best,
mm-hmm.
but he'll figure it out.
He's very good. but I'm not going to push him. That's the thing. I believe because no one pushed me. When you want something, when you really feel like you want to do something and you're good at it and he loves football. Maybe this is the age for him to just play football.
Right.
But I don't believe in pushing anyone to do something that they're not wishing to do. Um, yeah, because they're just going to rebel,
I
and
mean,
I'm not going to have.
there's some people. My daughter doesn't want to go to school sometimes.
But you have to push her. I understand. I understand. My kids don't even think that because before they say that, they're not allowed to say that. I mean, education is something, but in terms of like, all the other things, all the other, things in life, if she wants to do dancing, like I said, as much as I would prefer if it was something she could do on her own, I will allow her to do her dance and take her to all the lessons that I can
Right.
because that's what she likes to do. Yeah, because ultimately it's what gives you the best, makes your heart smile. It's what gives you the most joy. I'm not going to, yeah. I played the piano and I begged my mother for the piano, and she obliged. I got to play them, and that made me happy. So I wouldn't want to force Zenith, my son, to to to, to paint, and be slapping the paint on because he doesn't want to do it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Yes. I mean, your art again, it's embodies culture, and I think that's why it stood out to me. I started seeing your work maybe
Eric Badu.
six
It
was it
was
6 years ago?
yes,
Six,
around
seven
six
years
years.
ago?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yeah.
and it was like, who did that? She must be Cameroonian, and then
Yep.
found you. I don't remember how we connected.
I think it was the Eric Badu.
Yeah, and
I
I
think it was
reached out to
yes, I
you,
think
and
it
I
was the Eric
said,
Badu painting that I did.
yeah.
Yeah,
But we've
yeah.
formed a beautiful friendship
Yes, we
from
have.
that, and we've
Yes,
tried to collaborate
yes,
and do all
yes,
these incredible things
yes,
together. So
yes.
thank you for just being an open
Yay.
person. Um, let's talk about the work.
Okay.
You've done numerous exhibitions. You're about to do, I mean, you've been doing a series. Talk about that series.
So when I had my very first exhibition and it was great. I sold some pieces, but not enough compared to all the comments that I had that I was having. Like everyone was, "Oh my gosh, your work is amazing," you know. And I was like, really, it was very inspiring. It was very it was great to hear because I'd never had a solo exhibition before, and this was called the 30th Act. So it was good to hear comments and hear, all these critiques and all these positive things about my work.
Where
But
was your first one?
it was at the St. Augustine's Tower in London.
Okay.
So I had an exhibition and I sold like two or three paintings.
Okay.
Now, and I think it's because they were big and they were originals. So not many people, and I didn't want to sell my originals for little. I wanted to sell my originals for a good amount of money because they're originals.
Right.
So I think that's the reason why I also had just a few sales. So it took me 5 years to. I did a painting, and then someone mentioned, oh, they would love to have a print of that painting. And then I remember actually having dinner party and having my girlfriend sit around and they telling me, Shiri, you should have prints of your work. Sell your prints. Initially, I was like, oh, no, I think originals are the best. Why would you want duplicates? Da, 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 And then when somebody else said, oh, Shiri, I really want a print of that particular piece. I'm like, okay, maybe I really should think about making prints of my work. Then I started with my in-print series of exhibition. The year that I concluded that I was going to do this prints, I had my first in-print exhibition, which was titled 35 in print, and it was in London.
So were these all prints?
Yes, these were all prints of my work, and because they were prints, I was able to make them affordable, and I was able to I made them limited editions so that it's not just endless, and they still held a certain amount of value because they were limited editions. So I did 35 in print, and I thought, God downloaded to me that I should. It was actually God's idea. Like one day I woke up, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be doing an imprint exhibition every year in choose a different country and go there and do the exhibition. That is what I woke up one day having.
What year was that?
It was when I did 35 imprints. So I can't. I don't work in years.
Okay.
I have a very 35 imprints. So 35 imprints was the very first one, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I made sales because I made sales again because they are affordable now. It's still the same pieces of work that they had seen. Not all, but yeah, they were like most of the pieces, but they were now in print form. And yeah, I was able to make more sales. And the next year I went to.
Did the sales, and now let's talk the business
Mm,
of art.
mm,
Did the sales from 35 in print,
mhm,
were they more than 30th?
for sure,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
At the original, I sold three at
Okay.
my very first exhibition because they were originals.
Right.
And yes, they hold more value. They spent a lot more. But ultimately, because I sold about eight, between 18 to about 20 pieces at 35 in print, you can imagine that there was a lot. Yeah. Even though they're smaller amounts, it
Yes.
was still a lot more
Okay.
compared to the 30th act.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I did the 35 in print, and then and again, the idea was, the download was that I should move from city to city. I love to travel. So that was also a great idea. Like, my God knows me. He says, my daughter, I think you should take your arts and move to places and enjoy yourself as you're traveling and meet people
Yeah.
but ultimately the idea is also to take the work to the people who cannot be in Africa to see. So when I did 36 in print, again, it was great. That was in DC. Then I did 37 in print in Australia. I did 38 in print in Jamaica. Then I did 39 in print in Toronto. And then I did the 40th act. So from the 30th act to the 40th, that's 10 years. So that's like a 10th anniversary. Then there was a pandemic. And then I couldn't stop. I mustn't stop. I did an online exhibition. Um, and then I did 41 in print in Douala, did 42 in print, 43 in print in Yaoundé. So now we're at 44. Yeah. And I really wanted to be in Europe. So I'm still
The next
deliberating.
one.
Yes.
Awesome.
44 in print, I'm still deliberating whether it should be in France or Germany.
Okay.
Yeah. But that will be, I need to confirm soon.
Okay.
Yep. So for me, doing the imprint series is great because it allows people from all over the world to own a piece of Africa,
Cameroon. Yeah.
right? See, my work, yes, whilst a lot of it sort of captures Cameroon culture, Cameroon, it also, I have paintings of the Maasai. I have paintings, so I paint paintings of Nigerian people wearing, and I have paintings of the Adinkra symbols from Ghana.
Right.
So
Right.
if I could, I would travel all around Africa, pick something from each culture and paint that, because yes, I'm Cameroonian, I'm very proud of it, but I also want to be able to showcase other African cultures as well. So traveling from place to place. When I was in Australia, for example, and a professor bought one of these paintings. I think he bought this painting here. Um, you know, for me, that brings the greatest joy
Yes.
because he has it in his house. People come and he has to explain, because I take my time and I explain to each person who buys my work. This is Togo. This is from Cameroon. So when you go and you have to somebody else ask you, you can relate this, and then you can educate someone else about the culture, what they're wearing, da 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 da. So for me, it's a way of just transferring, the Cameroon, the Africa, beautiful
Essence.
essence into
Yes.
the
Into our
world, into
homes.
our world, all around the
Yes.
world.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. I mean, Togo is so synonymous,
Mhm,
obviously, with the region that you're from, I'm
mhm,
from,
mhm.
and it's you just make it so accessible.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
a signature.
Mhm.
Almost you walk anywhere in the world and someone is wearing that. you know exactly
Cameroon.
where they're from. It's
Yes.
the one signature thing that,
Yes.
you can't
Yes.
get away from it.
Yes.
Yes.
The dub is also soon coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The
Okay.
dub is also it's
It's on
also
the rise. It's on
yes.
the rise.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us about your process, like when you're creating, because this one is, I haven't seen this
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
Tell us what you think.
Mhm.
I know you want to travel and
Mhm.
experience new things and
Mhm.
bring it to
Yep.
share,
Yep.
but what inspires you?
What inspires me? Well, because I see a lot of beauty in a lot of Africa scenery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a woman walking her baby, carrying the baby on the back, inspires me. I must paint her, and I do. A girl climbing up a tree inspires me, and I want to paint her, and I paint. So I see it. I see so much beauty in Africa, and I that's what keeps my and that's why I travel to Africa again, because I also want to get different. I go there, I get inspired, I paint. The girl washing plates in the middle of the streets. I see I see beauty in that, and I
Yes.
paint it.
Yes.
So of course, fabrics. I use fabrics in my paintings. The one, yes, she has, the Hittite woman. Which who can say that a woman with a hetai is not beautiful? She is so beautiful in any hetai, in
Yes.
anything. So there's beauty in that. So I paint that. Um, yeah, I just see a lot of beauty in a lot of things. Not only Africa, I see a lot of beauty in a lot of
I think you
things.
have a South American carnival. You have a carnival painting, don't you?
Yes, yes, yes,
I
yes.
know your
Yes, you know my work. Yes,
work.
I used to live next to the Notting Hill Carnival in London,
Okay.
and I used to go to the carnival and all the colors and the movements and the way they are. Da, 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 da. So that also I love and people always comment about movement in my painting and the color in my paintings. Some of the paintings that is very sort of Cameroon, if I'm stylized like this one, doesn't show the color that I love. When I do paintings of carnivals, then that's when colors, you see explosion of colors.
Right.
So I like having that too in
Yeah.
my work. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Incredible. If you're speaking to another parent
Hmm.
and their child is asking them for a paint and a brush,
Hmm.
and they're like, there's no money in that, so
Hmm.
you need to be a lawyer, doctor, architect.
Hmm.
What do you say to that parent?
Um, what would I say to a parent that is encouraging their child to only be um, a doctor? Well, so unless of course you want your child to be happy, not financially happy, like because money is not the thing that drives me. I would encourage the parents to understand that money is not the thing that makes you happy. It's provision. It's being able, yes, it provides for your needs, it provides your things, but it's not your thing that gives you your joy. So I would really advise, that parents to allow the child to build on what gives them joy. Ultimately, having the freedom to choose and do the things that you love brings that joy. Now, a lot of people still believe that money is the thing that really makes them happy. Unfortunately, yes, money gets you a car. You can get to places for money, gets you. But for me, it's not about money, right? I get a lot of, when people tell me, oh my God, I want to travel to Africa now, haven't after they've seen my work, that to me brings me the biggest joy, because it feels like I've done something. I have moved someone.
Yes.
I want to be able to move people. I want to be able to make some changes in the world. It's not just here to just live in a big house and drive the fanciest car. I want to be able to do something more impactful for the world, and to allow just to do things which, for money's sake, I would
You would reframe.
Gently tell the parents, that it's not necessarily just, it's about allowing your child the freedom to do what's going to make their hearts sing. That is the essence of life. Yeah.
How long does it take you to do a painting?
It depends.
It depends.
Yes. So there's a piece that I couldn't sleep. I had to finish it. So it took me one night. Yeah. And the painting, I'll tell you the story. The very first painting that my friend in London told me that she wanted a print of, the one that was the catalyst for all these prints. So a friend of mine in New York, she said, Shiri, do you have any paintings you would love to auction? Because there's an auction here, and would love one of your pieces to auction for this Red Light Children charity. It was New York. I had just visited from London. I didn't have anything with me. I didn't
I can't
expect
get my eyes can't
of
go
this
on.
painting.
I keep
You're going to
looking
buy this
at
painting at the end of the thing.
I know. Cheekbones, everything. Please continue. I was like peeking at it.
So I had always wanted to see, as I move around, doing my things, roaming around, I always have an idea of something that I've wanted to be. Like, for example, this painting. I'd wanted to do this painting for a very long time, but just I didn't get the time to do it. Even like the actual painting, I'd had the idea, I was roaming, but still just didn't do it. So this particular painting of the Maasai, I had the idea that I wanted to paint the Maasai, but I didn't. I just didn't do it. So when my friend said, "Shiri, we need a painting for this charity," I said, "Okay, fine. I'm going to finally do this painting of the Maasai, and then take it to them in New
New
York."
York.
Yes. So I didn't sleep. It's 11 o'clock. I'm finding, I had been to Kenya, and I had all the pictures. I'm like, okay, I like the way he's starting. I like the way he's starting. So I pieced it all together. I just painted it, and then I think I finished at 4 o'clock. I had like 2 or 3 hours sleep. Then I jumped on the train. I went to New York, the bus. Went to New York, and there you go. So the painting was with me for. Luckily, I had taken really good, nice images of it before, and I went to New York. There you go. That was it. That was the last time I saw this painting. But when my friend saw it, she goes, "Oh my goodness, I want a print of this painting," and that's when I thought, okay, maybe this is what I'm going to start doing. Yeah. So it depends. There are some pieces that could take me. This one took me a year. Again, not because I was not that enthused by it. There were other things that were coming in and out. So, and there's sometimes I just want to let a piece sit, and I'll just, stare at it and come back to it. But there's some pieces that I must finish right away. Yeah. So it all depends. But one thing about me is that I'm very lucky that I paint fast. If I want to finish a painting very quickly, I can. With a glass of wine. I need a glass of wine. Yes.
What are some other things outside of painting that bring you joy?
Mm, I love traveling. That's what to say. Yeah, I love travel. I love people.
Mm-hmm.
I love people. I love dancing. I love being able to, yeah, going to places, gatherings, festivities. But I can't do too much of that without getting tired. I also love my own time. I always come up with projects. For example, I'm doing this project, which is Long Live the Art of Service. Ever so often, I have to have a project. And this year, my project is, those words were downloaded to me. Long live the art of service. It means something different, slightly different to everybody, because I've asked so many people, and everybody has their own meaning. So, for
Interpretation.
example, what does it mean to you? Long live the art of service.
Mm, I would say it's celebrating service, like
Mm.
whatever service may be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could
Mm-hmm.
be actual, people who serve others,
Mm-hmm.
or people who are in service. Like it could be, you know, frontline people, those kind of
Yep.
people.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so I think more and more is I have a sister who's a nurse
Mm-hmm.
and people who are medical practitioners. I think in some way we all serve each
Mm-hmm.
other,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's something to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started this campaign. So towards the end of last year, with I heard, suicide rates had gone up, and the pandemic had just made everyone, so it was then the words came, and I wanted to just um put out those words to be able to encourage others. People don't know how they could serve, right? Smiling at someone, it's an act of service, especially when you see that could help them, that could brighten their day. Knocking on your neighbor, you haven't seen them for a week, and you know they were sick. That's an act of service. So there's so many different ways that you can interpret what an act of service is. So this whole year, I have been promoting my t-shirts. I have these t-shirts which, written very boldly on them, long live the art, and every month it's a different color. So that's what I've been doing this entire year. So this is the seventh. I'm on blue, and at the end of it all, there will be something happening, but I won't spill the beans right now.
Where can we find these t-shirts?
They're online.
Okay.
They're online on my webpage. Yes. So it's just a way to, because sometimes, I'll put like, okay, a different way. My brother says that the fact that everybody interprets it in their own way, it's an art.
Itself.
It's an art itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So how would you define art?
Oh, you can't define art.
Okay. Well, talk to me about it. Like, what is art?
What is art? It's the expression. It's your expression. It's everyone's, because everyone's. It's so art is so subjective. So subjective. What I find beautiful, you may think it's not.
Right.
So but it's ultimately it's your expression. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're talking about break the code, and I love your story, just how beautiful, your parents saw this gift and were like, yeah, go ahead and paint. Like,
Yes.
it is
Yes.
what it is.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You did your whole architecture thing,
Yep.
and then
I came back to art.
brush again.
Yes.
So while you were in school, did you paint?
At university?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So some of my finished buildings, I would paint them.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so you did that more architectural.
It was architecture, but at the very end, I would do some. I would try and squeeze in some art.
But I
Yes.
think listening to you, it just tells the story that, life is art.
Mm-hmm.
It's expression.
Mm-hmm.
It's seeing the beauty in the things that we love,
Yes.
and just embracing it
Yep.
in ways that are meaningful to us, and
Yep.
in our choices,
Mm-hmm.
our lifestyle, our food. I think,
Yeah.
like I said, you are a walking piece of art all the
Oh.
time.
Oh.
And your work is so beautiful. I obviously I connected
Mm-hmm.
with it because it's beautiful, but when you can see yourself represented in a painting,
Mm.
it makes you feel like someone saw you.
Oh wow.
Yes. And
Feel
I
connected.
yes, you feel really connected, and that's what I think it's so important to see people like you
Mm.
out there. I don't know Cameroonian artists.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen work like this before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you having the space or creating the space
Mm.
to take it across the world. I
Mm.
know I can go to somebody's house in Australia,
Yes.
and
Let's
there's
go.
and we see Togo.
Yes.
And it just brings me so much joy,
Mm.
especially, for me, my journey was not like yours where I connected with my culture
Mm-hmm.
right away.
Mm-hmm.
But now as an adult, it's just who I am, right? I
Right.
embrace it
Right.
fully,
Right.
but these are the pieces I said, when I figured out who you were, I said, I want her pieces in my house.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. That's what I want my
Oh.
children to see,
Yes.
so they can connect with,
Yes.
especially when
Yes.
the world is so, we're living in different places
Yep.
and spaces.
Yep. Yep.
But like you saw that tear,
Yep.
and it reminded you
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, I should create.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
sometimes you look at like the highlight on this woman's cheekbone.
Yeah.
It reminds you that, you can just be in your essence and be so beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you for doing what you do.
Oh, thank
Yes, I think
you.
it's so important.
Mm,
Any final thoughts? Like when we're thinking break the code and we're talking about art and
breaking the
life
code.
and challenging the status quo.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so it doesn't. When I have exhibitions in Cameroon, and they always say, "Oh, you're a woman." Yes, for some reason they always think that painters, and that's the case in Africa. They think that there aren't many female painters. It's mainly men.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, they are not. And so my first couple of exhibitions, they were always surprised. To a femme, you are a woman. I'm like, oh yes. So to me, um, I think it's because I'm a bit of a rebel, right? And I don't like being like everyone else. That's just me.
Hmm.
And it's not because I'm going out looking to be like not to be like everyone else. I just you know I just want to do the things that I want to do. Whether I'm a woman or a man or this, I want to do the things that I want to do without it being
Unapologetic about it.
yes, exactly. So I felt I could do it. This is what I felt was my calling to do, and I did it. And I didn't even think that it was something that was different. That was something that had never been done by a woman in Cameroon at the time. Because when I had my first exhibition, oh my goodness, it was like so. It's um it's being really truly who you are and not worrying about whether you are the right sex or the right age or the right or the right coming from the right family or whatever. It's just being who you are, so breaking the code and breaking, you can do, everyone can do, and they should do whatever they see, first of all, it has to come from you. If you can see yourself, there's that saying, whatever you see, you will become.
Right.
So it all starts from what you see yourself to be and how you want to channel your life to be. If you don't see yourself, in that, you will never be, you won't lead yourself to that. Um, so to your comment about, once you can envisage yourself, whether it's being the first female furniture maker or whether it's the whatever, once you can see yourself and you can do it, there is no stopping whether you're a female, whether you're a black woman, whether you're, there should not be any hang-ups, nothing that should stop you. In the same way, architecture, there aren't many female. When I was one of the only female architects at university, but I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, that's what I want to study, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to see how it is, because I don't look at things like, oh, because I'm a woman, I should not, do those things. I don't even know where my mother, I guess my mom is my mom is also very, she was always very, she used to sing these songs to us, and she used to make us sing it to each other. She used to make us sing, anything you can do, I can do better. You know the
Do
song?
anything
Better
better
than
than
you.
you.
So that brought a competitive edge to us, right? That made us believe we can do anything that we wanted to do. I believe so, because she has 6 children, and singing it to each other, we'll be making something and she'll be making us do it. So it makes us really think that we can do what we put our minds to. So it was great, little nuggets that she's
Right.
put into us that, made us believe that we could do whatever we set our minds to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
power of the affirming words
Yeah.
and reminding you that if you put your mind to it, you
Yes,
can.
yes, yes. And my mother worked hard. She's working till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, she works hard, and I think she instilled in us the work ethics of working. Like, if I have to do, like, there are times when I don't need to sleep. If I have work, I will not sleep. So I think we also took from that, because there's no point thinking or having these big dreams and having of these desires of wanting to do this if you're not willing to put in the work. One also has to work, you know. And I think, once my mother always says, "Where my daughter, please, can you sleep?"
Yeah, yeah,
Because when I have to do something, I'm like this, and work, work, work. So
I
in
get
in
it.
order to get there, you also have to work. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. And the work is paying off because you're being recognized internationally. Before I
Yes,
forget,
yes,
tell us
yes.
about the latest
Awards.
recognition and awards you've gotten.
I was invited to Rome recently, last weekend actually.
Oh,
Yes, and I received the Michelangelo Award as well as the Star of Arts and Market Award. So apparently that means that I am one of those artists that people should be
should be watching.
buying.
Not
Yes,
just
not just
watching.
watching.
You need to buy.
Yes,
You need to put this in your collection.
yes,
Okay?
exactly.
Yes. Yes.
Because they put the market there. So Star of Art and Market. So it's one of those artists that they are. It's a good collectibles item, like good piece. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I was like, oh,
price done gone up.
exactly, exactly.
We did not get these. We did not get these when she was putting them out to all these other exhibitions. You better be rushing to get them now because the price went up.
Yes, yes.
Congratulations,
Thank you
sis. I'm
so
so proud
much.
of
Thank
you.
you.
I am. If you do not have a piece of this beautiful artist's work in your home, tell them the website to go to for the print.
ShiriAchuArt.com.
ShiriAchuArt.com.
Yes.
Make sure you go check this fabulous work out. Follow her, get the t-shirt.
Yes, everything is Shiri Achu Art. So
Yes,
Facebook, Instagram, everything. Yeah.
all things Shiri Achu art.
Yes.
Let's, I think if we're summarizing you, it's just embodying who you are, living unapologetically and express, that thing that makes you not go to sleep, like
Yes. You
without
summed it up
apology.
well.
I love you. We out here breaking the code. We want to see more artists, more people just being
Yes.
unapologetic and
Yes.
embracing
Mm-hmm.
just the beauty of culture,
Yes.
the
Yes.
art,
Yes.
and who they are.
Yes.
So thank you, my
Perfect.
love,
Thank
for being
you.
here.
Thank you for having me. I've
Yes.
enjoyed our
Me too.
conversation.
And we'll see you again.
Yes.
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 Next exhibition will be next year.
No. Hopefully it should be 44 in print, should be in Europe.
Okay. Soon.
Yes. Soon. But I'm having something in South Africa
Okay.
early next year. But my 10th anniversary of the In Print series,
Okay.
which I should say now, actually,
Yes.
it's going to be April 19th next year.
Okay.
So that will be the 10th anniversary.
Okay.
And it's going to be in DC.
Oh,
So,
you already know you can get your ticket,
yes,
book your
yes,
flights,
yes.
April
April
19th,
19th in DC.
2024,
There you go.
10th edition.
Yep. So the location is yet to be confirmed, but I'm working on that. So, but for sure, it will be the 10th anniversary. I mean, it should be something that you would not want to miss. I will not sleep for this one. In fact, all right.
All right. Well, this has been another edition of Break the Code with Shiri Achu. Thank you once again, sis, and we'll see you
Thank you.
next time. Don't be afraid to go out there and break the code.